these warriors on the front lines get slain and taken down, and I think that we both had a kind of kinship over that thing that
All right. L Boogie reacts in the building. Shout out to y'all, man. Let's keep it going, man. Appreciate everybody that's been subbing up. Make sure you sub up to the channel if you haven't already. We're going to keep this going, people. We aren't going to slow down. This Charlie Kirk subject continues alongside Charleston White, you know. So you got people saying that Charleston White is like the black version of Charlie Kirk. I haven't really went over a lot of Charlie Kirk's debates, but once again, of course, it's just an uproar thing, right? And a lot of people will say that this topic, this subject, is to, of course, put a halt on some of the speech that's being, you know, done on social media like YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all different types of sorts of, you know, content where people are speaking. They could be putting two and two together. They could be, you know, providing a message on things like this about Charlie Kirk, Charleston White. It isn't going to slow down, right? And so you just have to get in where you fit in if you're speaking about this topic. All right, we're going to keep it going. L Boogie Reacts in the building. Just make sure you sub up to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, so basically we got Charleston White right here. I wanna play Cartier Family just to see what they had to say about this subject. Then we of course got the we got a subject about an HBCU where they say MAGA invaded a campus. All right, so we're gonna talk about that too, and get some, you know, get some information on that to provide to the people. So I think we're gonna start with this Charleston White subject first. He's got a lot of man. So many people reacting to Charleston White right now. Like the guy is on fire, man. All right, so let's get it going.
Don't say nothing to white folks, because white folks will do this to me. You ain't gonna do nothing. So nigga, why would I make white folks mad unless they make me mad? I don't bother white folks about problems. I ain't f***ing with white folk because they done something. I'm f***ing with white folk because I f*** with everybody. How y'all gonna tell me what I can't say? It was fun and dandy when I talked about George Floyd and his daughter. It was fun and dandy when they had the Uvalde school shooting. I made mockery of the Uvalde Mexican babies getting killed. It was funny when I made the Houston news talking about raping Asian babies. It was funny when I was talking about the Jews and Aiden Ross' sister. It was, now it's on y'all. And y'all used to love me, set my tickets, but now it's on y'all. I told y'all I don't like nobody. I like white pussy. I don't like white people. I like Chick-fil-A. I like the Constitution. White folks just happen to be in the way of that. But I don't like nothing and nobody to say I won't talk about them if something happens.
Jesus.
It's what I get paid for. It's called satire comedy.
When Charlie Kirk died, I looked up your name on Twitter, and a lot.
I do have an issue with that though, right? Because when it comes to this comedy thing, if you go listen to the comics that talk about these types of subjects where they get canceled for speaking about certain things, or they get canceled because they talk about something that's going on with politics or something that's occurring in media, you see those guys, you know, they're very even like with the Will Smith and the Chris Rock situation, right? I remember that was a very big topic for a lot of different comics. They were offended because they like, hey, we get up on stage and speak, and now we have to, you know, protect ourselves from subjects, you know, like this, where people want to hurt you, people might want to take you out because of something you said on stage, right? Let's keep going.
A lot of people said that you were the Charlie Kirk for black people.
There's no such thing as a Charlie Kirk for black people. No. Let me tell you why. Because I'm a black man to stop looking at white people's problems and start looking at my people's problems. Charlie Kirk didn't look at his people's problem. He stayed looking at black people's problem as if we're the problem.
That's not true.
False. Gotta stop you, Charleston. Gotta stop you, man.
Charlie used to get on all the white liberals all the time, all the people in schools all the time. Charleston,
Charleston will say some things, especially about the black community, that do have points, but then he will say other things like the R word with the Asian people and crazy things like that. They're just absolutely outlandish and just can't vouch for it at all.
Black women.
He said that.
He said it.
He said that. And so anybody who says things like that, you can't really vouch for it.
It's interesting to say that Charlie Kirk was looking at black people problems is very
really like
false.
Charlie Kirk was looking at Republican Democrat problems.
I just think he was just like, I mean, he highlighted an issue amongst a group of people and said, how do we fix it? I just don't think that's accurate, me personally.
He talks about American people's problems all the time.
He does.
Like, so I mean, that's false. Charleston White.
I just personally think
I'll have to do my research on this one, right? You know, shout out to the chat. Shout out to all the mods, man. I appreciate y'all pulling up, rocking out with your boy L Boogie Reacts. L Boogie Reacts. When it comes to Charlie Kirk, everything that he said, I don't think it would be as controversial as it is. I don't think that racism would have been a topic of discussion, even with the clip. And I'll make sure I pull that clip up tonight where he was talking about DEI. I went back and listened to the clip. It was more or less about, you know, would you hire a black pilot or would you hire a skilled pilot? And 50% of pilots shouldn't be hired just because they're black. They should be hired because they're skilled, right? Now, I even seen somebody make a comment about this. Like, if a pilot is getting hired, more than likely it's because they're skilled. When it comes to black people getting hired in a situation like that, of course they might be pushed out. It's all about references, resources. It's about who you know sometimes. What's the old saying? It ain't about what you know, it's about who you know. Okay?
it was all sorts of people that he spoke about, and it just like, I don't know. It seems like if
Shout
somebody
out
says
to all the
anything
mods,
about
man.
black people
Let's
that
keep it
offends
going,
them,
man.
you
Make
get
sure
that
y'all
type of-
7 up.
type of explanation.
Yeah, and whoever said that Charleston was like the Charlie Kirk is not accurate at all. When Charlie would sit there and debate,
It was respectful.
it was respectful, and he would articulate on the highest level, and like people would come and be like, you know, college students, and he would literally grill them in their own degree and in their own field, and he was making points that made sense, that had stats always. It was never outlandish things. He says violent and outlandish things all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he does say some things that are very true, but he does say some crazy things, guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm gonna just let him go, but this just shows that nobody really listened to Charlie Kirk.
They don't.
didn't. So I mean, they're just talking out their ass at this point.
Yeah.
These guys right here are very heavy on black fatigue right now. They're doing a lot of black fatigue content. There's a lot of fatigue in our country right now, just period. Like, I think everybody's looking at the next person beside them and they're finding something to judge them on. We're all judging each other on conversation, content. Everybody's trying to have that wow factor in their content. Everybody's trying to find something to wow the people. Everybody's doing content about the opposition. You know, it's so many things we could talk about when it comes to black and white, right? Because, of course, at one point, there was nothing but black and white people in America for the most part, you know. White people are still the majority, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so yeah, if you're not looking at your fellow man and having something to criticize them on, then of course people gonna look at you and say, yo, bro, you don't talk about nobody but our people. Like, get the hell up off of us. Go talk about your people.
When Charlie Kirk died, I looked up your name on Twitter, and a lot of people said that you were the Charlie Kirk for black people.
There's no such thing as a Charlie Kirk for black people. No, let me tell you why. Because I'm a black man that stopped looking at white people's problems and started looking at my people's problems. Charlie Kirk didn't look at his people's problem. He stayed looking at black people's problem as if we're the problem.
That's crazy.
We're not the problem. We don't have an impact on foreign and free trade that allow all these immigrants into the white man's country. We didn't bring them over here. We didn't bring the drugs. We didn't bring the dope.
damn sure did.
For it, no.
This contradicts everything he always says too. Like, he always talks about how black people are causing a lot of problems, and then here he goes now saying the opposite. Which I don't think, obviously, all black people don't cause problems, but are there problems in the black community? Yes, of course.
He addressed that. He did say, I mean, he points at those problems, but this just shows that it's not too many.
Well, of course.
Of people.
Remember now, there's problems in everyone's communities, right? Some things get highlighted more than others. That cannot be frowned. I mean, you can't steer away from that, right? Because a lot of the things that go on in other communities, they find resolutions to those issues. They don't harp on it the way that we harp on these black issues. That's been my whole thing about how we point the finger at our black people, right? We don't find resolutions for these things. We want to like try to make it simple as possible, but really it's a complex issue when it comes to our people, man.
think how we think. But you know, hey,
I think what he's trying to say is a lot of these problems that he's highlighting, he's trying to say that he was blaming black people for it, or saying that black people had a hand in it, rather than saying that we had nothing to do with that. Is what he's trying to say. That's why he's saying the drugs, the free trade, the immigrants, all these things. He's trying to say that Charlie Kirk blamed black people for that, but we didn't have nothing to do with it. I believe that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think that's true though, because like you said, they, you know, if the Democrats were the ones voting for all these things, and we know one group of people has undying loyalty to the Democrat Party, you know, well, based on how we voted, then we did vote for these things. But
and he knows that.
Yeah,
he said that. What he's trying to say that those are white people problems. Immigration and bringing the drugs.
Those are Americans' problems.
Americans' problems. Yes, that's what he's trying to say basically. That those are, and I'm sorry, that's what my dad says. Oh, they always talking about what black people do, but they're not talking about how they're letting this man, you know, over there in Israel bomb these kids. That's a white man. They're not talking about these wars that started in Russia and Ukraine. That's white people. That's white people problems, but they bringing up the hood and what black people got going on.
See, we got to stop doing the white problems, black problems. We got to just worry about Americans' problems.
But like, it's just, I mean, I guess, man.
I think
that is a problem.
It's hilarious though, because once again, we can all talk about how America went and dumped their funds into another country, but they didn't think that would have been beneficial to our Americans. We need to focus on American problems. Okay, well, why aren't we dumping more of these tax-paying citizens' dollars into our system? Why do we want to go and feed other systems? Why aren't we taking care of the problems that we have at stake at home? Why do we want to take our funds across the waters, across the borders, and take care of those other people? Okay, let's keep it going.
We got
Shout
out Phoenix, CP3,
I do things in terms of America and America first and the betterment of America. But as a person in America, I mean, I am black, so I do look at the problems amongst people that are also black. So I mean, I guess it just depends on the context of what we're speaking. I don't really agree with what Charleston's rambling about here. Me personally, I'm not really on board.
We're 1 minute in. Let's let him keep going.
We didn't bring them over here. We didn't bring the drugs. We didn't bring the dope.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock.
So the CIA have never. The CIA and FBI have never targeted no group of people like they have targeted black people. And even J.R. said there would never be a black messiah unless we make them. So they're going to kill all our black messiahs. So my problem.
That's another thing. See, if black people weren't the ones being targeted, if black people weren't the ones that suffered the most in situations like this, then there would never been a conversation about it, a black messiah, right? That was a talking point at one point. We were targeted, literally. They had removed a lot of our, the people that really could have changed America for our sake. Those people were removed from our society. They were removed from this earth, okay? Each one of them you could think about, your Fred Hamptons, your Martin Luthers, your Malcolm X's, you know, those people were literally taken off this earth, you know what I'm saying? For these reasons right here, where they spoke up for the black community, found resolutions for issues like this.
What my problem with people saying Kirk is like me, he ain't stood up to the white supremacists. He ain't stood up to the skinheads. I've been standing up to the negative elements and the detriment of black people. He ain't looked to white people and said, hey, we got a bunch of white kids shooting up schools. Say we got a bunch of white kids and they babies. We lead the nation in child pedophilia and molestation of children. Hey, man, we need that Epstein list out. They say the president's name is on that list. He ain't doing that to his people.
Like they said, you know, we haven't even heard about a lot of the things that's been going on. It's a lot of stories that haven't even been brought back up. All of those shootings and stuff like that, and even somebody was breaking it down, and shout out to Bro Sanchez, but he was talking about how like some of this stuff does start to look staged, because in situations where you would think that a shooter would aim at everyone, they're only aiming at specific people. Come on, man.
He was a talking
only
point.
Certain targets
who spread a lot of misinformation, almost the borderline of lying. The statistics that he was using was false. Black people don't commit 50% of the murders in this country. We commit 50% of black murders, which is a small fraction compared to the Mexicans, the whites, the immigrants. So and then, homie.
Sorry, that's not true. I've looked that up 1,000 times. That stat is false.
You lost the plot, brother. I mean, look. I mean, I don't like some of the things you say. Some things you're funny, man, but you just lost the plot.
Yeah. He will go completely off the ground and lose credibility all the time. Like he's not. Charlie Kirk came with real stats, and then you came to say his stats were false. Then you followed that up.
From my understanding, you know, and that's another thing, right? I think people just get to talk too. Like, I think a lot of times based on conversations that are being had in the barbershop, being had in public or around your peers, your family, your friends, a lot of conversation is going to be thrown around. And so people just going to speak from the heart based on the things that they hear, based on the things that they see. I think a lot of times, even from my understanding, not all Charlie Kirk's stats were accurate, and I'm gonna just say allegedly. I'm gonna just say based on theory, a lot of the things that he was saying wasn't statistically correct. And I'm gonna say Yeah. How many times have statistics been manipulated to make it seem as if things aren't the way that they are? You know what I mean? So let's
With
keep
a
going.
false stat.
50% of the black murders.
But let's just be
I
smart
think
here.
Almost all of black murders are committed by somebody black.
It's like 90%.
Yeah,
Over
it's like,
90%.
I don't think that number is accurate.
Let's be smart here, guys. You
All
take
right.
Charleston White, you take Charlie Kirk.
My point
Who
is
is a
accurate.
smarter person? I think that question has already answered itself.
He challenging children. I'm challenging adults. So we are not the same. He
not
wasn't
just
putting his
across
life on the line because he was talking just about black people.
That's so
He
cap.
never talked about nobody else as if black people are America's problem. So that's my problem with that shit. Hell, he ain't know me. I stand up to the gangbangers, the killers. I pick on the bullies of the race. He pick on the weakest of the race, the small, undeveloped brains of our children on the college level, on the entry college level.
That's so cap.
Y'all had a lot of the same points though.
No, he didn't. He was lying. He said Dr. King was a horrible man. I didn't say he was a horrible man. I say he was a whoremongering preacher. That don't make him a horrible man. Donald Trump is a
He said
whoremonger.
that.
He ain't never called him a horrible man.
No. He said that Dr. King doesn't deserve a holiday. That's what he said.
Which I don't agree with. I think he does, but he didn't say he was a horrible man.
I mean, I can say that I don't agree with everything everyone said.
Right.
Donald Trump is a whoremonger. He ain't never called him a horrible man. Donald Trump got rape allegations. Bill Clinton, rape allegations.
And you shot someone.
And I just made a video about them Clinton allegations, boy. That's just, I mean, just the way they were breaking down the Clinton allegations, removing Trump out of that conversation to make sure that our sitting president doesn't get tied into that conversation with Jeffrey Epstein, man. That was pretty cringe to listen to. Shout out to Taryn the Black for that alley-oop again. Appreciate you, Taryn, man. Salute to you, man. I hope you pull up.
The prince over there in rape allegation, rape allegation. So you never heard him
Shout
call
out
anybody
Phoenix Rising, too.
a horrible
He was
man.
in
But he gonna
there.
say Dr. King is a horrible man? He's a lying motherfucker. Dr. King talk peace. So yeah, man. So no. So we've never
I
said.
think with slavery, y'all both. He mentioned something about slavery.
He said,
He
he said we were better off with slavery.
Yeah,
he said
did not
we
say
were-
that.
he said.
Did not say
False.
that.
That's not what he said. We were better off before the Civil Rights
Bill,
Act.
yeah.
And then he came on and said that the Civil Rights Act should have outlawed slavery for all races rather than the wording in it, because now that same wording is being exploited in America under other things and some other stuff he said. But I don't think he
See,
was
that's
saying
what I'm
Charleston's
saying.
looking at a
bro.
clip
So,
on
like,
TikTok.
that's just talk, right? Like, that's just opinionated for the most part, okay? Appreciate you, Last God King, for the subscription. Let me go to my dashboard. Let me turn that back on. Turn back on my whatchamacallit.
He said, I don't like this. I don't like this white boy.
And on top of that, he's talking about all those people. He has admitted to Ring people multiple times, and he shot somebody. So it's like, brother, are you a saint yourself?
No, he gonna say that he not.
Now, I'm going to definitely, I said this on one of my other lives too, but this guy said that he did not, he participated, I believe, but he said the grape all that stuff was false. I'm not defending Charleston White, not by a long shot. And then on top of that, he said that that he wasn't the shooter for the case where he got arrested. All right. And of course, you know, I think that's where his telling moment came in, because I think he, you know, allegedly told on his friends, if I'm not mistaken. Let's keep going.
Not a good man, probably.
Well, then how you gonna put the figure that, you know?
I mean,
Charlie ain't never did none of those things.
He talking about he
man,
never said that Trump was a bad
Oh, yeah,
man.
all
I mean,
them
but nobody
high
gonna say
figures.
Trump deserve a holiday.
I mean,
But Charlie disagreed with Trump on multiple things, and he said that.
I gotta keep it 100. Like he's entitled to his opinion, but if you're gonna express your reason for thinking, at least have some better researched opinions.
Oh, and guess what? The black people, y'all know they on his side right
Research
now. Oh, they
opinions.
loving it in
There
the
you go.
comments.
He said we were better off with slavery.
Yeah, you said that too.
He said we were better off than we are today. He a lying motherfucker. We got rights today. We were better off together. But my rhetoric and his rhetoric do not align. We were not better off as slaves when a white man can rape a black woman and be excused.
But in past interviews, you did say
definitely.
slavery needs to come back when
I
out of control.
agree with
You have
that.
said that a few times.
No. He's not advocating for slavery to come back. He's advocating that we were better off as black people as slaves.
Okay.
I'm saying we need these conditions to strengthen us as black people again. We wasn't better off. We were just stronger. We wasn't better off.
Same shit.
And you said slave. He just quoted one thing you said in an interview with you. You just act like you didn't say that. Well, you definitely did say
But
that.
he just said, I just said we were stronger.
That's the same thing.
That's basically what Charlie
Once
was
again,
saying.
shock
Not-
value.
not
All
in
Charlie was
slavery,
saying.
after
He
slavery.
just
He
said-
said during
I
slavery.
think
Let's
Charlie-
get to
Charlie
1100
said,
subs.
to my knowledge, he said before the
47.
Civil Rights Act was passed, a lot of the statistics, like no crime, no murder,
Just like Byron
fathers'
said.
homes, the families were
But you can
together,
make an argument.
the employment rate was better, things like that were better
No,
before the Civil
In
Rights
that
Act.
clip, you can make that girl made the only argument she made is maybe they were scared, and you can say that argument. They were scared to commit crimes. But also in the 60s and the 70s, it was down.
But how does that?
It was down.
How does
90s,
that?
it was down.
No, it wasn't. 80s, 90s, it
It's
wasn't.
just worse now,
No,
probably.
no, it's the same thing. We looked it up with Taj that one
yeah,
time.
it is.
But look though, but how does that affect the fatherless homes? How does
That got
you
worse
know?
too.
Right,
It got
right,
worse.
Russ,
So did the Civil Rights Bill affect fatherless homes in the black community? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. So are fatherless homes good or bad? They're bad. That's the point that most people are trying to make. That's the point that Byron was trying to make. That's the point that Charlie was trying to make. And these are stats that are saying this. So don't get mad at them.
Based on-
Don't shoot the messenger.
They're basically saying that we're supposed to continue to get better.
That's exactly what they're saying.
I know.
Because they're saying even though slavery was so bad and the Jim Crow laws were so bad, black people were still on a higher trajectory despite all of the things that they had to overcome. So why now, with all of the things that all the rights we have, why are we going down instead of up?
And
that is the point they're trying to make.
We got more opportunities than these immigrants that come to the United States. And guess what? They're thriving over black people. So it is a question, guys.
It's the culture.
Once again, it's an education thing. It's one of those things where. All right, I'll slow it down. My bad. That's one of them educational things. That's one of those things where people, they got so much. Like I was speaking about that the other day as well. Like, of course, we don't want to keep making excuses for our communities because people are able to get to a better situation in their life, right? But what we also got to keep in mind is that based on all of the distractions, based on all of the things that go on around us, like I was even having one of those fatigue type of moments today, where I felt like I was being completely distracted, right? I'm being completely, like I wasn't even going to do the live because I had so much going on in my head based on the things that's around me to where it does distract you, right? It's so many.
You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
Creep the Don, appreciate you subbing up to the channel. But, I think a lot of people are being distracted in our communities. They got other shit going on. They ain't focusing on bettering themselves. They're just focused on what they got in front of them. They focused on getting through work every week. So it'd be so many other things. And then people, of course, on top of that, they got to find another way. They got to save up some money to get themselves out of the projects, get themselves into a better situation. It's just so many different things, right? I'm not making excuses for those people. But I can empathize with, I could put myself in them shoes, damn it. I'm sorry, y'all, tongue tied. I can put myself in those people's shoes and say, damn, I can see how this could, malfunction a person. Cause I speak with someone about mental health and being unstable, and a lot of people are unbalanced. They're chemically imbalanced. They're misguided, miseducated. There's so many different things that you could factor in when we're talking about black people. And they have been fighting that fight since they've been, on the opposite side of civil rights, okay? Jim Crow and all of these things. All right. So it's so many different things. When we talk to each other though, it's like we always bumping heads on that shit, though. Like, even with these guys, even with a Charleston White, that's a distraction at this point. Even if he is saying some good shit, people don't know how to take him because of all of the fuck shit he done said. All of the messed up things the guy done said. People don't know what's real and what's not, all right?
That's what it boils down to.
We can't be mad at the question.
We wasn't better off when we can be hung up on a tree and captured when they said we was free and the other slave masters said, no, that's still my free. We wasn't better off. We didn't have more.
Did you know Charlie Kirk before he died?
No.
I
want to say, me and him was on a segment together on Alex Stein's show, on Prime Stein with Alex Stein. So I want to say we had a brief segment, but him and Alex Stein is real good friends. So, but I've never heard of him, never knew anything about him, never seen a video before he died or nothing.
Clearly.
So I'm saying, why would we be affected by a white boy getting killed by a white boy? Mm-hmm. Why would that bother black people? It don't matter. We don't cheer it on or nothing because his rhetoric don't reach my ears. He's never came across my algorithm. You know why? He arguing with college students that don't know a mother thing. He couldn't have debated me. He could have debated me.
Now, that's crazy.
One of the biggest lies I heard him say is that Trayvon Martin hunted George Zimmerman in the middle of the night.
That was why he was acquitted.
Then another thing I heard him say that black women can't think.
Never said that.
That's not what he said.
Black women, he can't think. But then he says, if he saw a black pilot.
You taking this out of context.
Now that
he wondered if he's qualified.
I wish I should have clipped that up. But there was a conversation about it was 3 different women talking about they were hired based on DEI. And I think it was Michelle Obama and it was a couple other women. The one I can specify was definitely Michelle Obama. And basically how those women were hired based on affirmative action. I'm not really familiar with that per se, based on that type of hiring and all of that. But what I do understand is that people are overlooked when it comes to being hired, especially, you know, if you're black, it could be a little more difficult for you to get hired in a situation like that, okay? Being a black woman. So I can see how women can look at that. Yeah, please, thank you. I'm just reacting. Yep, drop the cash out for me. I can definitely see how people could, or how black women could say, yo, I feel like I'm completely qualified for this. I went to school 12 goddamn years after 12 years. Why am I not being, you know, placed in a situation where I'm able to get hired and I'm even more qualified than the people that are, you know, I'm up against? And once again, that could be based on resources and references. You know, a lot of people get jobs based on references, nepotism, et cetera, et cetera. So that could, you know, pull us out the race as well, which is how it goes. You know, that's how a lot of people are affected financially too when it comes to monetary gain.
Saw clips.
Yeah, I see.
When I see a black pilot, I say, white folk let you get this job. For him to even be at the door to get the job, he got to be qualified. There's certain tests you got to pass. So yeah, they pick you on your color, but your color don't get you in the door. Your test scores do. So nigga, they trying to make it seem like black people ain't worked to accomplish what we done accomplished.
Yeah, to support the channel, man.
I can see that, Greg.
And they forget.
I really can't, brother.
I can see why someone would take that. I mean, if you hear the clips out of context, based like he's quoting them, I can see why he said that. Because he did say Ketanji Brown and Joy Reid and Michelle Obama stole a more qualified white people spot due to affirmative action and DEI.
They are gonna pick the best candidate. That's why when you hear things like DEI, of course, it brings this it brings the discrimination, the equity, and the race up front. I forgot what the I stood for. But now at this point, you said the triggers everyone else benefits from DEI. Well, in a lot of different situations, everyone else going to benefit from my understanding. You know, I don't know if it's true or not, but the statistic was that white women benefited from DEI the most. And once again, how you doing, Hennessy girl? That could be based on resources and references. That could be based on shaking hands and knowing the person, knowing the people that you're interacting with to get that job. Word of mouth. Hey, I know somebody that needs somebody in this department. Let's look at your qualifications. Majority of the time, they're not even, oh yeah, inclusion, thank you. Appreciate that, not word for it. In that moment, everybody else ain't even being looked at. They're going to, you know, play it off like they're looking at those people. But in those situations, we're going to go with what we know, all right? We already know that XYZ is, you know, they've been working on their credentials. They went through school, proper practice, internships, whatever. All of those things make a difference, you know what I mean, when it comes to being hired.
Say that.
But one of them people, I think it was, I don't know if it was Sheila Jackson.
All of them said that. That's why I said their names.
Because of DEI.
All of them said that.
So therefore, if I'm running around, if DEI is a thing.
I mean, if you're taking these videos out of context, I can see why he would form that opinion.
I don't know. Bro.
Obviously, he's not the type of guy to go any deeper and do some real research and really be familiarize himself. But so yeah, I can see why he would form that opinion based on the clips and the out of context stuff, because this is the same way a lot of other people feel.
Yeah. And also he said, okay, he never heard of him until he died, but you're sitting here quoting all the things he said. So clearly you just saw short clips of what he said, little TikToks. And then to say that you could out debate Charlie Kirk,
I don't agree with that,
brother.
Unfortunately,
you don't believe that in your own heart.
I don't.
Come on, bro.
But who would see that? We go with that putting a man above another man. If he feel like he can compete with that man, bro, why wouldn't he go compete with that man? See, I don't like hearing people talk like that. And those young brothers, they might not meant no harm by that. But in that situation, if I feel like I can debate a man on subjects like that, especially if I've lived through it, right? Let's just say we talking about a situation where a man went in and he wanted to get his credentials. I mean, you know, present his credentials to get a job, and he got to go compete against a white guy in that situation. Why wouldn't I ever want to compete to get that role or to be able to debate shit like that? Why would I take myself out the race? And that's how people be talking, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want us to always shut our mouths and just give it, you know, give somebody else the role because they deserve it. Like, why? Why do they deserve it? Because you say, quote unquote, they worked harder than you? Hell no. How you know I didn't work hard for this? You're basing it on race. You're basing it on preconceived notions of being prejudiced. Those things take place when it comes to getting hired and people speaking up for each other and shit like that. Let's not act like that's not a thing, right? I'm not gonna do that. I would, and I know that from experience. Okay, being able to go into a situation where they're gonna choose someone else just based on conversation. You might not be having the same conversations as this guy having with this guy, and what comes out of that? Well, we had to just go with this guy because, you know, and they're not gonna be honest with you, like, hey man, I picked this guy because, you know, I like him, basically. It's all about who we like, remember? It's all about who we like, man, you know.
Come on, bro.
I just wouldn't speak on something if I haven't, like, if I'm not gonna speak on anybody if I don't know what they say in the full context of what this person's about.
Most
so you saying
definitely.
you sitting here speaking on a man that
You
people
said you don't
like
know.
love, and you say you don't know, and you're just gonna disrespect him. That's just not smart, brother.
He disrespects a lot of people. He's a disrespectful person.
No,
That's his whole shtick.
He's not dumb.
Like he said, I said all these disrespectful things and got platformed and.
He's not dumb. He's just showing the nigga IQ here.
Innovative
So therefore he
therapeutic
might be-
services.
Niggas, Charleston IQ, and then niggas like us IQ.
And Rugi.
You can't treat him like any other niggas
Timothy
around here.
Hodge.
He ain't like any other niggas around
Let's
here.
go.
You can't treat him like any other
Myri.
niggas around here. You got it?
Shout out to the new subs, man. Let's go, man. We need 12 more to get to 1,100. Appreciate y'all, man. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate all the love and support, man.
Don't call me that word.
I'm saying black
as a nigga.
Okay, well the good thinking smart black men IQ up here, he just better than the rest of them. Because the rest of them, what they were saying was more insane than what he's saying. Well, he was saying some pretty insane stuff too, though. But you know, he did say F the baby. So, but
Yeah, he said
black people
what he
were
said
saying that too.
about Gilly. You remember that?
Yeah. I mean,
Gilly
I've
said-
never seen them react to a video this long, man. They're really enthusiastic about this Charleston White. That's why I said, man, right now Charleston White is killing it in the media, man. Like a lot of people really want to react to what Charleston White be saying, and there's got to be some truth to it. Now, of course, other people are going to argue. Even when we was talking about the subject the other day with Charleston White, like a lot of people are going to want to find the errors in his message. They're going to want to find where he on bullshit, you know what I mean? But rightfully so. Once again, we're all entitled to our opinion. We all have the right to go, you know, with what we know about a nigga. Especially if you know him. You're like, man, I know that he full of shit, you know. So
died. Another black man, right? Because you
Based on
care so
your
much about
opinion.
black people, and you said F your dead son.
And based on things you've seen or experienced from the brother before, you know. I heard that, and that's another thing not worth it. He's not a Charlie Kirk was not a college graduate, allegedly. I'm gonna say that on my platform, from my understanding. So that's also one of those situations where, oh yeah, that too, Ian Brinkley. Not worth it, most definitely, right? People don't like when you can sit up there and talk that knowledge, common sense, and you ain't got no college education. Some people don't like that shit. Because remember, and I know people like that, they already looking at you like, no, I know more than you. You shouldn't be able to say these types of things. No, because I'm college educated. I'm, you know, and I'm not talking like a white person per se because of that. What I'm just saying is like, people don't like when you're able to argue politics. They don't like when you're able to debate with them and they got more education than you. I know that off GP, you know what I'm saying? It isn't, you can say it like that because a lot of people, they go into trading, you know, I mean, they have different trades under their belt, or they might be educated in other areas, you know, to where they're able to make a living off of it. But the people that go to school, they definitely offended by that. Those are the people that go in there and they think that they off the rip should get the job because they went to school for it.
F your dead baby.
I mean,
that's what you said about a man.
Appreciate
son
the
who died.
cash.
A lot of people know Charleston White's character.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
he says wild things and offensive things. That's kind of his shtick.
Yeah, he does.
Shout out to Beautiful
He
One.
spits on
Oh
the dead all
my
the time.
God.
So it's
never
like,
okay.
Does this opinion surprise me
Nah,
of him?
yeah,
No.
nah.
He said, why is this surprising y'all? But I can differentiate like when
Shout out for the appreciate the cash out, Beautiful One. Word. Yes, man. We definitely will, man. I already said it. Can't stop, won't stop. You know what I'm talking about? We gonna keep it going. We ain't stopping over here, man. And I definitely appreciate everybody that's rocking out with me and all the continued support, man. And we gonna we getting real close to that number too, to where we're gonna be able to bring the memberships in. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna conjure up some dope merchandise. We're gonna put together a more in-depth show as well. You know, right now we just getting started, just getting popping, man. But we ain't slowing down, not by a long shot, man. Let's go.
When it's different, like, you know, when he's playing the character, he say,
I got a couple more videos because I see that they're well, like, and it's getting the eyes too open.
I mean,
a lot of people
he was
say
not
about
just
Charleston.
doing that
Let's
for
keep it
numbers,
going.
but this is like he's serious right now though. This is like his actual political opinion. But I guess how
Appreciate
can you have an
that.
opinion you don't have the full facts of the
Thank you.
situation?
I'm just reacting.
He gave false stats.
I mean, come on, man.
You on your color, but your color don't get you in the door. Your test scores do.
Stop it, brother. The color literally got the person in the door. That's the problem.
Keep going. Move past the DEI.
you know, I think like you can make a case to me to where I can understand affirmative action because that just gets you in the door. It doesn't pass you.
No, yeah.
Most
you
definitely.
can.
Affirmative action, you can almost convince me for that.
But then it's another
But
step
does
after that.
DEI I don't really agree with.
But that's-
Because based on the data and statistics, black people don't benefit from it the most. So why would I sit here and say,
about
hey,
that,
DEI, and you look at the stats and almost less than 3% of DEI related grants and stuff go to black people.
But that's the thing Carl just said about black people. You make that same argument for white women. He should have just said white women. But you know,
He could have said all DEI recipients
Oh, you know how them white women be too, boy. They feel like they qualified, they getting that job. They gonna find some kind of way to get in that dough, you know. But then I think it is a lot of times when it comes to women having rights, right? Like women got rights. They got rights to work. They got freedom of speech, just like all other men in this country. So they fighting for their shit. Them women fighting for their roles in these companies, in these corporations. And a lot of guys, I can see how the men would push back on that, right? So I could see why the women would, you know, be in these situations where they got to fight to let people know, hey, I'm not ignorant, I'm not dumb, I'm not stupid, I'm fully capable of getting the job done just like a man. So I can see that, you know.
affirmative action recipients. He could have said that,
No, look,
but
no.
he was specifically targeting a couple
Look,
black
no.
women. He
They
said
said
a crazy thing. Black women can't. He did say their brain power doesn't
But bro,
process.
Yeah, that probably would have
But
been
look,
a
no,
great
take
thing
it
to
out of
say.
context.
look, but
I
look,
can see why
the
people are
politics
upset
of
at that.
DEI was about it was about black people.
But also-
nobody brings up white women in DEI.
But
period.
I just think the politics of DEI was vocally defended by Democrat black people.
Yeah.
Therefore, it looks like black people are defending it the most. But if you look at the data and statistics and the real facts, black people didn't benefit the most. Now, affirmative action, you can convince me of that one.
Yeah. Also, with
That
the
one
Charlie,
I could be swayed. I
with
won't
Charlie's
lie.
clip, with that clip of Charlie, if you look at what he said, because we reacted to it before that comment, he said he would have never ever questioned a black pilot before the DEI. So therefore, he was questioning DEI. He wasn't questioning the black people because he literally said, "I would have never ever thought anything of it until DEI."
See, now I do understand Charleston's defense of that because it's like,
It did sound bad.
Sure,
You can't
maybe
treat him like
DEI
any of
affirmative
the other
action
niggas
may have got
around
Shout
you.
out to
here, 'cause he ain't
J-Dub.
like any of the other niggas around here. You got it? You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it? You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here.
You got it?
You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around
I
here.
might have to
'cause
see
he ain't
that.
like
Now
any
I'ma
of
have
the
to
other
silence
niggas
it
around
again.
here. You got it? You
'Cause
can't
we got
treat
a
him
lot
like
of
any
people
the
coming
other
over here
niggas around
subbing
here
up.
because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
Let me go
You
back.
can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't
I'ma
like any of
silence
the
that
other
for a
niggas
minute.
around here. You got it?
All right, let's get back to it, man. Hey, we all different, man. We all equal, but we all different in the same token.
You in the door because of your skin color, but I mean, it's
Is
not
that
gonna,
questionable?
I mean,
Yes.
like that's the step after.
Is
Yes, you're
DEI
here. Yes, you
racist?
might be qualified, but now I'm thinking like,
I mean,
hold on, I got this Asian and I got this black.
I think they're speaking about DEI, but and I can't respond to long ass comments like that. If no disrespect, but you're gonna have to hit the link up there or hit the Cash App or something, bro. But in this situation, what I will tell you is just keep watching. I don't know how that's not even a relevant thing when that was definitely one of the biggest topics when Charlie Kirk was taken out, bro. I don't understand that. And even if his kids do go to school, they should go to school, but more than likely, they going to have some inherited wealth, all right? I ain't defining shit for you.
on filling people in
not
due
right.
to their race.
Yeah.
Is
Hell
that
is
right?
you
'Cause
talking about?
People are discriminated against. No, but it doesn't pass the classes for you. It doesn't get you through.
Doesn't raise the
Therefore,
question.
that's
Right.
why I say you can sway me.
Doesn't raise the question.
It does raise a
Sure.
question.
Okay, that's all he was saying. That's all I'm trying to say. It's gonna-
See, and it isn't for Charlie Kirk's kids, bro. Charlie Kirk obviously cracked the code on life. Whatever he did before he left this earth, I can almost guarantee his kids taken care of, and also his grandkids and great grandkids. God damn it, we ain't talking about them. We talking about what he was talking about on that stage that riled people up, and then we talking about what the hell's going on after he left this earth, bro. That's what we talking about, and how it affects all of the people around us.
But I mean,
that is what he said. That is what he said.
But when people say like you're dumber, but you made it
Can't
through the
type a
curriculum and
coherent
stuff.
Comment. I don't know who's that. Who you're referring to, bro? But you can't be in here disrespecting people, bro. Strike one.
It doesn't pass the classes for you. That legally, you still have to hit the standard and quota to pass.
How dangerous rhetoric can be. Okay, so where do you want to get your rhetoric from? And I can't respond to. Oh, damn, my bad. My bad, Ian. My bad, guy. My bad. Let's keep going, man. Y'all, hey, damn.
I'm not mad at that tape. I seen Kamala Harris. She's quite frankly dumber.
They ain't gonna slow down on this subject, man. Let's go to this subject right here. Shout out to the people that's still watching, man. We got this Roland Martin clip. MAGA invades HBCU. TSU students clap back, forced them off campus. All right. My bad, bro.
Hate group decides to
go to Tennessee State
threats. Now, a MAGA Charlie Kirk being killed. HBCUs were targeted with bomb threats. Now, a MAGA hate group decides to go to Tennessee State University. They call themselves the Freedom Tour. And what they do, they go Fearless Tour. I'm sorry, they go to these college campuses. Now, here's the deal: they showed up at Tennessee State uninvited.
Now, this is what you call trying to go viral. I don't give a damn when nobody say. Them brothers right there was trying to go viral. These white guys right here, they definitely said, hey, we finna get some shit popping, bro. And it ain't for the reasons y'all think it is. Anybody can go sit and have an opinion about a conversation. And they could be trying to take the same route as a person like Charlie Kirk. Just like a Charleston White. It's extremely popular right now for people to get in front of cameras, get in front of microphones, and express themselves, all right?
Did not seek permission and set up their table. And the whole point, this is what the whole point was. You see right here, DEI should be legal, deport all illegals now. Then they got upset because students grabbed their signs and tossed them. And then, of course, they were escorted off campus by security. Now, the videos have been going around social media. Let's just roll it, turn the audio up.
We got police out there or security. Whatever they, leave and never come back. Hey, man, what did I just say, bro? Hey, that's strike two. I don't even have the word DEI in my title or my description. So that's strike two. Leave HBCUs alone.
MAGA supporters invaded our HBCU.
Look, she's smiling. She ain't even. She couldn't even keep a straight face about the situation. She's smiling about this shit. Look at her. Oh my God.
You called the East primitive, but what? We created y'all knowledge, we created y'all science, we created y'all math. Y'all didn't do shit besides steal. Y'all didn't do anything to your.
Yeah. Especially if you got your phone out, right? You know, exactly. Like, yo, you in school, yo. Like, and see, this is where they be catching our people slipping right here. You get what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that make headlines. And then, of course, they can create whatever type of narrative they want based on this situation. Because what are people saying now? They could have definitely went to black people can go to white schools, you know, and they can speak and they can talk about things without even being, you know, overly criticized, which I would, you know, kind of debate a little bit. But then in the same token, it is like, yo, why is there so much controversy around some guys that just want to go speak to black students, right? You know?
showing them the door.
We walking them to the door, y'all. I don't even know how they got on campus. We gonna figure that out, but I don't know. They need to get like a trespass, like penalty or something because
sending them off.
Tell him it's that boy. He thought he was gonna come up like Charlie.
Yes. Say good job, TSU. Good job. Good.
Okay, so let's be perfectly clear. They were not authorized to be on campus at all. Tennessee State University released a statement. This is what they said.
Yeah, man, it doesn't benefit our people to move like that. All right. If anything, if you really wanna make something shake, go sit down and have a conversation with them. All right. You don't have to react like this because this just falls right into their laps. It's one of those bloop situations. You know what I'm saying? Bloop. It's one of them situations.
Unaffiliated with Tennessee State University appeared on the campus without prior notice in accordance with university policy. Any demonstration or protest activity requires advance approval and permitting. Campus police and staff responded promptly, and the individuals were escorted from university grounds without incident at all times.
Man, get the hell out of here. Dale, don't say black people, so all of the black people. Dude, stop. All right. That's the thing. I think that when it comes to race, I think a lot of our people, we're not controlling shit, remember? Our people still got to fight to get in these doors, right? And they're never going to stop fighting based on what this country was built off of. So when people say we're playing this and, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, we're tired of y'all toying with us. We don't have to we should be studying y'all. We should be toying with y'all. Hey, I already said I'm playing victim. Hell yeah, I'm playing victim. How about that? See, I ain't even gonna give you what you're asking for where you don't want me to play victim. You goddamn right I'm playing victim. All right? So sit down and take a seat.
In a professional and respectful manner.
Oh, get the hell up out of here, man. Hell yeah, I'm playing victim. How about that?
TSU will
now
continue
what?
to uphold university policies and ensure that campus
Let me go back. Hell yeah, I'm playing
university policies and ensure that campus remains a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of our community. Now, let me be perfectly clear.
I am a victim.
I'm a Texas A&M graduate, and even though I'm a graduate, if I decided to roll up at Texas A&M, set up a table in front of the Memorial Student Center, and I have language that probably white students there would disagree with, don't you know I'm going to be approached and told, I'm sorry, who are you? Are you authorized to be here? These individuals were not authorized. So why do they do this? To get exactly what they got. Their whole goal was to go viral. Their whole goal was to say, oh, look at these folks. They're protesting MAGA. This is ridiculous. And they've been on social media trashing HBCUs, talking about graduation rates, all those
That was the wrong way to approach some shit, though, right? Like, you're going to approach a black college with MAGA hats on. That's toying with somebody's emotions. And then on top of that, like, you're basically insinuating that MAGA is racist, okay? So you don't help that party. I can almost guarantee, well, I don't know, shit. I don't know how Trump or his cabinet would react in a situation like that. Maybe they like that. I don't fucking know. Let's keep going, man. I'm just reacting, yo.
That's what their goal is. And so let me be real clear. You're going to see this happen again. Because, see, these right-wing influencers, okay, what they're going to do is, in the mold of Charlie Kirk,
they definitely had police with them. That was strange.
I'm telling you right now, don't think this is a single thing.
But look, he's even smiling, right? Like, they know what they doing, man. This was like one of those I gotcha moments. Like, we got him, you know. This is just a viral thing, man. You got to remember, see, like they said, man, I'm not that young or I'm not that old or whatever, but nowadays, man, you got to think about how many people trying to go viral and you know, make it off of moments like this. That way that they could, you know, display what they really stand for and all of that type of stuff. Who those guys may be, I think someone said it in there or whatever. Or, you know, if y'all have any information on them or whatever, let me know. But maybe they do be speaking politics. So maybe they are studying to be in politics or whatever. So maybe they did want to create these debates so that they could have something, you know, for their content.
To other HBCUs, it's
she
all
hyped.
about getting under their skin, and they want to be able to say, "Oh, we're exposing these universities," and they're going to be saying, "Oh, we're exposing these state universities." See, the whole deal here is Tennessee State is in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. So their whole deal is, "Hey, guess what? we got a Republican governor, we've got a supermajority of the Republican legislature, and so what do? Let's target them. So what we need to understand, HBCU students, faculty,
Does that
staff,
matter though
need to
when we were
understand
born? Like, and in some ways, yeah, okay, we weren't born in those times, right? But that doesn't mean that our people weren't misplaced, bro, or displaced. Like, man, I keep saying that too. Like, I talk to my family. I talk to my grandmother, right? Like, my grandmother's a nurse. She's in her 80s, you know. God bless her. You know, I still get to talk to her about situations like this where, you know, she had to be basically treated like shit just to be a nurse, you know, just to help other people in situations like this. So for her to be able to explain that to me, and, you know, for me to hear those types of things that were done to her, even like my other grandmother telling me, her being called, you know, derogatory names and shit like that. Like, I mean, it's not too far removed, all right? We're talking about 60 years, you know?
this is going to happen again. I guarantee you. It might be South Carolina State, North Carolina
Most
A&T,
definitely.
Texas Southern University, Florida A&M. It might be Albany State. We have no idea what it's going to be, but trust me, this is what these right-wing folks are going to do. What did I tell y'all? I told y'all at the outset of this year with the inauguration that what they're trying to do is defund Black America. It is the targeting of Black America. It is everything about Black America that they are targeting. See, these fools claim to have these fearless debates. Again, trying to do what Charlie Kirk do. Going to college campuses and say, we're going to have debates. We're going to be debating on campus. Now, y'all, it's not their goal. Their goal is to have, frankly, rage porn. They're going to be able to say, oh, to their white supporters, look at these savages. Look at the blacks. Look how they responded when we came on campus. We just came on campus in our Make America Great Again hats and with our signs. It's the First Amendment. That's what it's all about. It's freedom of speech. That's what their goal is going to be. And so we need to be aware of this. We need to understand what their strategy is and to realize exactly what it is they're going to try to do. And so bottom line is these folks here, we know exactly who they are. We know exactly who they are. We know exactly how they're going to operate. We know exactly how they stand. And so it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Now, the TSU released a second statement.
I thought this was all about
Okay,
freedom of
let's
speech.
pull that up, please.
See, from my understanding, freedom of speech is very heavy right now, right? A lot of people think it is about, you know, the rage against black and white. That's, like I said, that's never going to be removed based on our history, okay? But now I'm kind of looking at it from a standpoint of, you know, once again, the freedom of speech will be toyed with. They will find ways to silence people like me, other content creators, because that has already been a heavy topic of discussion, right? So yeah, the race war could be one of those, the largest of it all, right? Because white and black people, they just want to fight each other. A lot of times, black and white people, man, it's a lot of shit that got to be hashed out amongst them. They want to fight and shit, right? But I can also see how this could be one of those things where they want to silence us. Even putting drones in public. All right. So now, you know, you created all of these situations where you have these public assassinations. You got people getting hurt, people dying or whatever, unalived or whatever. And now they're adding drones into it. Palantir. Go look up Palantir. All right. Look up that term. I think it's Palantir or Palantir. And it's in regards to, you know, surveillance on citizens. Okay. I think that they're finding new ways to implement these structures of law into place, making people, you know, 24/7 spying on you. Remember the guy, I don't even want to say his name, but I'm going to just say Snowden. I think that was his last name, right? Where, you know, he was talking about how they were always 24/7 had surveillance on citizens in America, right? So they know these things will happen. They know people will fight, do all that type of shit. Yeah, you know, but what's the end goal for it, right? So we could talk about the person that did the sniping. We can talk about the rage wars against, you know, with the different races and things like that. Or we could kind of go a little deeper and we can talk about all of the things that have been spoken about, even with the Jimmy Kimmel situation, where they want to shut people up when it comes to certain topics, certain, situations. All right.
Let's pull that up. And so again, that was
Which
the
I'm
initial
looking for
statement,
right
that was
now
the second
to
statement.
bring that subject up.
And again, I just need y'all to understand what these people are all about. So when we reached,
And even with this guy Jimmy Kimmel, I think that they made him, basically, bow down to that shit. I don't know. Let's listen real quick.
Walking out to a thunderous standing ovation overnight, Jimmy Kimmel returning to late night TV after a week off the air.
Thank you. Anyway,
1984.
Before I was interrupted.
Kimmel's show was suspended amid apparent threats from the Trump administration following the host's comments last Monday about the ideology of the alleged shooter in Charlie Kirk's murder. Growing emotional, Kimmel now clarifying his remarks.
We got our ancestors' blood, and a lot of our people are still affected by that, man. I don't care that even for 100 years, a lot of people are still being far removed. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of people that still haven't figured out how to create wealth in America. And that's the unfortunate part about it. So the people that get to tell us to stop playing victim, the people that get to tell us pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or everybody has equal rights and all of this shit like this, I'm gonna say I'm playing victim, damn it. How about that? A lot of our people aren't treated fairly. A lot of our people aren't still removed from those impoverished situations. So goddamn it, stop saying that. I'm not gonna agree with you on that. I don't give a damn how many times you say it, how many different ways you put it. I ain't gonna agree with that. I'm gonna fight, and I'm gonna talk, and I'm gonna speak up for my race the same way y'all speak up and fight for y'all races, in the same way that y'all studied us for all them damn years. You got something literally called Egyptology, where they studied these great cultures and groups of people to make sure that they could function and thrive the same way that those cultures did. So nah, man, hell no. I'm not just gonna stand for that. I don't give a fuck how racist it sounds, how prejudiced it feels. I know what I see. I'm using my eyes and ears to decipher my message. Grain of salt, people. Like I said.
Make something clear, because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it, nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was.
And then on top of that, even with, and this guy, once again, this guy's a comedian, right? And I was talking about earlier, the comedians, they were really not, they really didn't appreciate when people were being censored. Even like Dave Chappelle, I remember that was like a heavy topic of discussion within his sets, right? Of his sets of comedy, right? He didn't like how he was being censored to talk about the transformer community, for instance, right? So he found ways to implement that into his comedy because he didn't want to be censored in that way. And in some ways it worked, some ways it didn't, or whatever, right? Now, to add to that, you got to keep in mind, that's just comedy. That's satire comedy. It's the same thing Charleston White says he's doing. But when did we start telling people that they couldn't laugh about it? They have that right, remember? Even if it isn't right. And of course, we don't have to agree on that. I'm not going to say it's something cool to do. I don't talk about the dead, right? But if that's the case, why don't they go get all of those, like they said, why don't you go get all the black rappers and all of the people who put that on display at all times, and they worship it, they praise it? Why don't we go get those people and tell them, hey, you got to stop doing the same thing? Why is it only when someone like Charlie Kirk gets assassinated and it becomes a big issue? Why can't it be for everybody, right? And I've heard that from multiple different content creators. So shout out to them. But that's the topic, right? We wanna censor, we wanna shut people up that make sense about situations like this. But you don't want to do that for everyone else. Come on, man, make that make sense. All right. And this guy, Jimmy Kimmel, he just might be the one that, they had to make the example out of. And it was a pretty, a pretty funny fucking joke in my opinion. And it had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk, like he said. It had more or less everything to do with the government when he said what he said. It had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. I don't even know how people got that out of what he said. He wasn't making light of Charlie Kirk. What he was doing was putting Donald Trump on display because maybe Trump didn't even hear him. Remember, he was in front of a goddamn helicopter and they gonna ask him about somebody passing instead of asking that man when he's in a quiet place and ask him about some shit like that. You're gonna ask the man when he under a helicopter, he about to get in the plane and shit, you know?
Really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way.
He also praised Kirk's widow during this past weekend's memorial for her husband.
On Sunday, Erica Kirk forgave the man who shot her husband. She forgave him. That is an example we should follow.
But Kimmel was also back telling jokes, taking a jab at President Trump.
You almost have to feel sorry for him. He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly.
After the taping of the show, President Trump weighing in overnight, blasting ABC's decision to put Kimmel back on the air, saying his talent was never there.
And then I'm going to say this, too. His talent was, all right, so his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, all right? His talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, all right?
Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny? In a statement, Disney said Kimmel's show had been suspended to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. Kimmel shedding light on what happened behind the scenes.
I was not happy when they pulled me off the air on Wednesday. I did not agree with that decision, and I told them that, and we had many conversations. I shared my point of view. They shared theirs. We talked it through, and at the end, even though they didn't have to, they really didn't have to. This is a giant company. We have short attention spans, and I am a tiny part of the Disney Corporation. They welcomed me back on the air, and I thank them for that.
The host also thanked those who came out to support him, including his fans, his fellow late-night hosts, and even voices on the right.
Maybe most of all, I want to thank the people who don't support my show and what I believe, but support my right to share those beliefs anyway. I never would have imagined.
Let's get to 1,200 subs, man. Let's keep it going.
Candace Owens, Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, even my old pal Ted Cruz.
But not everyone was able to watch. Nexstar and Sinclair, media groups that own dozens of local ABC affiliates, are still not broadcasting Jimmy Kimmel Live. Kimmel using his opening monologue to defend free speech.
Look, I never imagined I would be in a situation like this. I barely paid attention in school. But one thing I did learn from Lenny Bruce and George Carlin and Howard Stern is that a government threat to silence a comedian the president doesn't like is anti-American. That's
Yeah, because there's truth in comedy. Just like this guy. Oh man, this is getting good right here. You know, I even heard this guy talk about the FCC. This guy Steve Harvey. So he finally, I'm gonna segue into this real quick. With Cat, right? He mentioned the FCC, and that was like,
we going through something, we'll call each other because we feel for each other because we know the real person.
Right. Yeah.
I know they lying about you online. I know that podcast is bullshit. Hang in there, dog. Don't pay no attention to that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and look, man, just because you can talk smooth without saying, it don't mean you ain't lying.
Right.
I be sitting up here looking at these podcasts of these other comedians that's going on talking about other comedians. Hold up, dog. What did that?
I disagree with that. This guy in the chat, who I don't know, but you know, if he subbed up to say that, that's cool. Oh, I don't even think I got that on, first of all. But what I will say is, man, because I think that a lot of people, they get caught up in saying that everyone's privileged to be in this country. And, you know, have equal rights. I think that's what it's about. And I think we keep skipping over that. We don't want to talk about, first of all, we want to create this false resolution and act like everyone is able to get it how they live, you know, but I don't agree with that. And then second of all, you guys always want to jump over the fucking problem. Y'all don't never want to take accountability for your actions, but you want to throw in this, you want to make us all responsible for ourselves now. It don't work like that, bro. See, the one thing I do understand is that there are plans in place to make sure that people never recover from things like slavery. So the fact that you think that you're right just because you repeating what the hell else somebody else may said, then that's your prerogative. That's your business. But what I do understand is that no, we have been misplaced in this country, bro. And for anybody to skip over the fucking problem, then you're a part of the fucking problem. Okay? You don't want to admit that your people did some harsh, terrible things. You want to skip over that, just like you just skipped over it in the comment section. Exactly, beautiful one. Shut up and take the ass whooping and figure it out. No, that ain't how it works. See, now your people might be in a situation where they might be jacked up. I don't know. And you got to blame your people for that. I'm going to blame my people partially too. But what you're not doing, see, it isn't just about slavery. I think that y'all just like to say it's about slavery. It's about so many other things that came after slavery. All right? It's not just about the slavery part. So the fact that you don't want to acknowledge that you're a part of the fucking problem, in my opinion. You're not going to say, yo, my people did some fucked up shit. You're just going to skip over that. All right? So the fact that you skip over it lets me know that you're really not into finding a resolution for it. You're just talking. All right? So stop it, man. We got to talk to our young black boys to tell them to stop killing each other. We got to talk to our young black women and men and say, yo, y'all got to figure out a way to get through it and become that nuclear family that a lot of us have yet to even witness. All right? Well, if you're not, then why did you say it in the beginning? You basically said I was playing victim. Now you being a victim. Let's go.
Shit come from? When did we become that? When did we get into tear each other down business? Because you ain't never heard me say not a disparaging remark against.
It don't matter, Steve, but let's hear it go.
This is the quote that I learned that helped me with my father's death. And I couldn't understand why it was beating me up so bad.
This isn't it, man. Hopefully I can find it. I want to see the clip about the FCC. Oh, yeah, that's who had. Shout out to urban politicians, man. That's who had the clip. My bad, urban politicians, man. Make sure y'all sub up the urban politicians, man. Here we go.
I'm at 112 markets. I got 9 million listeners. I'm controlled by FCC rules.
I'm controlled by FCC rules. Now, what did they say? And urban politicians going to say it. Let's keep going, man. This is a dope clip.
The problem is,
Miss Collins, shout out to Miss Collins.
Podcasts who have no FCC rules to abide by. But you have to remember, even though you're on a podcast, you still got a brand.
Yep.
And so you can't say what you want to say and expect to be relevant and not get canceled. You can't have a podcast, let somebody come on your show and talk about your friends.
I agree.
Okay, you got a podcast. Y'all got to
We can grow as a people, Paul, and this is the last time I respond to you. If you want me to continue to respond to you, bro, go ahead and hit the link or something, bro. Like, don't do that, man. Don't be disrespectful, bro. But now you being rude, man. Come on now. All right, let's keep it going.
Guest on here, and he started slamming free.
You ain't got to talk to the citizens. See, that's another thing too. Like, if we really want to remove all of the bullshit that's going on in our country, why don't we take it to our government? Why don't we take it to the people that continue to put us against each other? This red, this blue shit, like they banging on us, bro. They literally gang banging on us, and we want to sit up here and defend that shit. I'm not defending that. I don't care what you say, man. I'm not defending that. I'm sorry. And then on top of that, yeah, let's take it to them, right? Let's get them to take accountability for the bullshit that they did to our people. Don't y'all think that would help? See, y'all skipping over that as well. Don't y'all think that we would react a different way? Think about all of the stories that black people had to hear growing up in their communities. Just like I said, I remember hearing my grandmother talk about it, right? Think about if we can all get that resolved, right? Let's get that. Let's hash it out. They don't want to hash it out. They want to keep telling us that we need to stop crying about it. But when it comes to these, and then there's another conspiracy as well, and I don't even want to go into that too much right now. Appreciate you subbing up. But really, you know, we can say that we're the indigenous ones of this land, right? And we were misplaced there. We were displaced right there as well, right? A lot of people chose to call themselves black. The other people chose to go and, you know, be in those reservation camps. I just had a conversation with a guy about that today, right? So let's get to that point where we're acknowledging that. Once we get past that, then hell yeah, maybe we may be able to resolve some things. All right? I just told you. All right. So maybe whenever it catches up, then y'all will hear that message right there. But let's first of all acknowledge what the hell happened. All right. Yeah, it's always let's move forward. Hey, can we stop talking about that, man? Why are you guys still complaining about that, man? We're brothers, man. Let's resolve this divide. Yeah, that's cool. But y'all don't want to factor in all of the things that I just mentioned. Add to the fact y'all don't want to factor in all the fucked up media where we're hashing with each other. And then on top of that, see, I ain't even asked for all that, Dale. And I'm sorry, you know, that you had to go through that. I'm going to empathize with you, right? But once again, if we don't want to acknowledge that our government is putting us against each other, and then on top of that, you know, I don't know how you got here, but I can kind of understand where my people came from in a situation like this. I can understand where my people came from. As far as your family, that's an unfortunate thing, right? But that's what we have to do, man. First of all, we have to acknowledge that our government works for us and we don't work for our government. That's the first step. And then we got to make them bring all them files and shit out, man. We need to see the files. Stop redacting shit. Stop blacking. Stop giving us pieces of paper with nothing but black cross out all over it. Then we can get somewhere. But there's a lot of lies at this here dinner tables tonight. Okay? You know, so.
Fred. He knows something about Fred happened in the past, will lie or not, and just start slamming Fred. Y'all got to shut that down. Yep. Because this your brother. You got to.
So he said Shannon Sharp should have spoke up for him in that situation. But did you ever see, and it's jacked up with Steve Harvey, because it's like you say you're being controlled by FCC, so you think that every other man should be controlled that way. Do you see how he just kind of just threw that in there? Like that's almost propagandic in a way. You know, I don't even know if that's a term, but it sounds good though. Like that almost sounds like that was staged, okay? Because that's an extremely large platform too. All right, the Pivot Podcast. You got Ryan Clark. I think he still works for ESPN or something like that. That's ABC. That's your large corporations. And then who do we get to make this viral? Steve Harvey. You know, so it's so many different tactics, and I'm not gonna say that all skin folk can folk. All right, let's keep it going.
And you got to protect the brand. They don't do that no more. So you come on my show, you spread all these lies about some people that I call my so-called friends, and I just let you sit there and check it. And because your podcast had so many views on that right there, your next guest is the same type of guest. Because now you want your money to be made off clicks and views at somebody's expense. Well, now guess what? You got to pay for that. Because once you put it out in the universe that I want clicks and views, the universe does not differentiate. It just gives you clicks and views. So now here they come the rest of them. And now you got clicks and views.
Podcast. And there was a comedian who talked about you. And you waited a while before ever responding to Cat Williams. You said was so different from what he said on Shannon's show.
When you say vitriol, what you mean?
The social media fodder.
You know what's even more disturbing is that they're getting our people to work against us, man. You know, like our people now get paid and they get humiliated. They get in these compromising situations to where they're going to speak against us as well. They working for the government. They working for the elitists, man. You know,
was upset with you for the way you finally responded.
It's the way it should be.
You mentioned his height and what you could do if there was ever an altercation. They said they felt like what he said about you was true because of the nature of your reaction.
Well, see, first of all, I ain't really good at social media, so I didn't even know that was out there. But they can like really kiss most of the corners of my ass.
Pause.
When you say stuff like that. First of all, man, let me say this. See,
Pause,
first of all, when I
pause,
said
pause,
that, I was on
nigga,
stage
pause.
at, Earn Your Leisure. I was really just joking. I slap your perm, all this. I was just in front of a whole lot of people. I was really just joking. I don't really
cap.
If I had a chance to talk
That
to
boy
Cat
capping.
about anything, I would just ask
Man, I'm gonna say this about a guy like Steve Harvey, man. Appreciate that, Ira Brown. Thank you for subbing up. I really appreciate y'all subbing up, man. Y'all been putting in the work alongside your boy over here, man. And we done had a steady viewership tonight up in here too, man. So shout out to all of y'all, man. Straight up.
What's wrong? Just what's wrong? Let's go to that. Listen to me, man. Just because a person sits on the show and don't hesitate or say or and speaks eloquently, that don't mean it's true. That just don't mean it's true, man. And I probably shouldn't have said anything. That's a regret I have. I really shouldn't have said nothing. Because we not in the same league, dog. We shooting at two different baskets. I shouldn't even have said nothing.
We ain't gonna.
And so really, man, I think I would apologize to him if he took offense to what I said. I was joking, but I would apologize to him. And like I said, if I had a chance to sit down with him, I would just say, hey, man, what's wrong? But you got to look at the whole tone of the interview. If the whole tone of the interview is what everybody else ain't, what everybody else ain't got, what everybody else doing, I think that's kind of like hate and jealousy. And hate and jealousy is a form of grief. You're grieving because obviously all them people you talking about have something you either want or are something that you ain't. Yo.
So that mean that Bernie Mac had something that you wanted. Something that you hated. Cat Williams had something that you wanted, something that you hated, man. So that's why I said we all get to talk and we all, provide our opinion on subjects. Even in this situation, I'm still providing my opinion about it. It's not a fact. Majority of the time when you hear people speaking, they're either going to present those stats in front of you. They're going to provide you with some type of game, some type of mess, knowledge. It could be wisdom, tagged along to it, This is not an educational channel. This is an entertainment channel for the sake of argument, okay? So I'm not here to provide education. I'm here to provide my reaction to content. And on top of that, I'm also here to put on display a lot of different things when it comes to opinion. We all are entitled to one. And now a lot of people are with well, you should be held accountable for your opinion. And it's like, well, it's just my opinion. Now, of course, once you get into speaking facts and stuff like that, people react in a different manner. You can get sued for shit like that. You can be, people might want to hurt you for that, But for the sake of argument, man, a lot of people are saying hateful, hurtful things, right? And those people stop talking, all right? But in this situation, a lot of times, man, you can see what's going on when people start talking, where they trying to defend themselves and shit like that, because we get to see how you were conducting yourself in public. Even when it came to politics, Steve Harvey took sides on that twice. He was rocking with the Blues, and then he turned over and started rocking with the Reds, okay? Money's involved with that, okay? I vividly heard him talking about how he don't like Trump no more, but then Trump helped you, get some things done. So it's about who we like, and then on top of that, it's about money, bro. Money attached to that.
It's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in, and I had a link in the description where you can watch that clip in the beginning in full on the Pivot podcast when they had Steve Harvey on as a guest last week. And I actually missed this myself, but Harlem Legend TV, I follow them on Instagram. They put it up on their page yesterday, and it caught my eye as of what Steve Harvey was saying, referencing the interview, Shannon Sharp, Cat Williams, and everything like that. And I was supposed to clip this up from last night. We talked about it on the segment on Studio 56 podcast, but I still want to speak on it as there's several levels and layers to what Steve Harvey said right there. Because I got to keep it all the way 1,000 when I listen to it. He kind of referenced Shannon Sharp directly, which is what made Ryan Clark go ahead and say, well, hey, since you're talking about
Yeah, exactly. It had to be some truth to it, because people wouldn't have been able to relate to it as much. When people watch stuff like that and they get really in tune with it, of course they go there for the messy shit, the gossip or whatever. but they also feel like, yo, I can relate to this. Cause I remember when Bernie Mac was doing shows, yo, I can relate to when I saw Ced the Entertainer do the same joke as Cat, or I've heard Ricky Smiley talk, and then you get to hear Ricky Smiley talk now on the radio show, and they be like, yo, it's kind of cringe now. Like, Ricky Smiley was one of my favorite artists growing up, and you know, just to see him do that switch code on me. And then he got to throw up the signs and you know, I ain't even gonna disrespect nobody's frats or nothing like that. But I don't understand that. All right, let's keep going. And it all be based on those FCC rules, policy, procedure. You know.
Referencing what Shannon Sharp went through, clicks and views. I guess when he was dynamic in the show, because they talking about your friends.
People be controlled, man, for real.
Right there, because he most definitely was talking about Shannon Sharp.
Let me turn my shit back on.
I gotta say this first. Nigga, if they gave me that interview, I most definitely. Can't we sit out on my show and said all that?
You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it? You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
You got it?
In his bag, he got it off his chest. This is the way he felt. These are people that he knows. Not yes, I don't know if people consider Shannon Sharp a friend or not, that they have a real relationship with Shannon Sharp, but you got to know, certain times, certain people, y'all not really deeply that friends. Y'all might be colleagues or associates or people that talking past, and you might feel like, hey, bro, at least I thought you would holler at me or not put something like that out about me with somebody going in on me, but this is the entertainment business at times. Now, with Shannon Sharp, Cat Williams is saying, this is my truth, this is my story, people have spoke on me, people have done me wrong or done things that I don't agree with in life. I'm calling it all out right here on the fly right now. Now, when it comes to this thing with Steve Harvey, I got to keep it 100. The thing that he has to know is, bro, for certain people, certain times you say things like FCC on the radio, oh, I'm controlled. And we are against being controlled, dog. Like, that just is what that is. Like, being a part of the system, oh, I'm going to play the game. I'm going to work with the people who behind the scenes telling us what to do, how to move. That comes off as, hey, man, you doing what master say do. We against that, bro. Like, certain people, they not with that. No matter how many viewers they gonna have, no matter how many listeners they gonna have on the radio, hey, bro, if it's going against what I stand up for or what I believe in, I don't need to be on the white television TV show or on the major network. Or, hey, I don't need to be a part of the program or the radio. I want to have my own voice. I want to have my own place to
definitely
and really tell my truth and not just go with the flow or what make everybody happy at times. It's different lanes for things. Now, I do understand, and I'm not gonna play dumb and oblivious to it, that there is a messy part of podcasting or just entertainment in general or just speaking even on radio shows. There is a messy part of that game where people just generally and only focus on mess and drama. Now, Shannon Sharp most definitely does have some of that part on his show, but even after he did the Cat Williams one, he came in, I think, with Country Wayne after that, but then he went to 21 Savage and he went to Usher. There was nothing messy about those interviews. He even went to other actors and different people at times, but they didn't get that same type of attention. That just is what that is. People are going to tune in to the nonsense, the capital C's mo. Y'all know what the capital C's are. They want that controversy. They want that chaos. That's what the people want, and you have to do a good job of blending it in and making it mix and mesh well so it don't only be focused on that. Put the other things in that mix. You grab them to grab their attention, and you put the positivity there as well, and hopefully they'll get on it because people don't tune to always click the positive stuff. That is a.
But you know what, man? They always try to kill greatness though, unalive greatness. They want to, and when I say they, maybe I'm talking about the corporate America. You got your FCCs because that's a big topic right now. FCC is a big ass topic right now, right?
You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
Shout out to you. Appreciate that sub. Who was that right there? Darling Narita. Appreciate you for subbing up. So, like, the FCC is a big topic right now, people. I think that in a lot of situations, of course, man, they're toying with our freedom of speech. I think that's just what it boils down to. And then in situations like this, appreciate you pulling up. All the best, 1010. Thank you for subbing up, and I look forward to seeing you again. Stay tuned, man. And so, like, in a lot of situations like this, you're just going to see more and more of this happening, right? Because there's an agenda behind this at this point. I kind of get real in-depth a conversation like that as well. Twitch.
thing. But if you really we know the difference of somebody who just being an antagonist and being disrespectful and just trying to tear everybody down or hating on people, as opposed to, hey, I really got some truth in this at the best level, and I'm not going overboard. I'm not being an antagonist.
All right,
I'm
okay.
not trying to
Appreciate
really
you. All the best,
be
Miss Lady.
disruptive and damage people. So I just had to come say that with that type of situation right there. Well, nah, I get it though. If you for Shannon Sharp or any podcaster, any YouTuber, anybody create content, you are responsible for what you put out, including myself. I am responsible for what I say at the end of the day. It's on me. If I do that interview, niggas just got to throw the darts at me when it comes to Cat Williams, because he telling the truth, how he felt about things, no matter whether you agree with it or not. And I just think it is a place. And to say that Cat Shannon Sharp kind of got canceled.
That's crazy though. Like Steve Harvey basically came out with this message like, I got you. I see it. He said, please check out IUIC, our Hidden History Radio. They explain and give proof of what's going on. I'm kind of in the knowing of what's like, what's surrounded around a lot of these different topics and situations. A lot of my information I get from a guy called Bro Sanchez TV, so checking in him as well, and I don't know, a lot of his stuff might be opinionated, but on top of that, he also goes into what he can prove. He's all about the Gnostic, and about the knowing. So shout out to that brother as well. It's a lot of this conversation to be had. It's so many topics that I got right now that just, fell in my lap. So it's a lot of things that I, can continue to just speak about and keep going, right? Like I can just keep going into the knowledge, the conspiracies, the agendas of the elite, the government, et cetera, and I'll keep doing that. As long as people continue to rock out with me, support the channel as much as they can, then hell yeah, we're going to have way more topics than this. People can, of course, bring stuff to the forefront. You can, become a part of the community. I gave everybody the opportunity to post on the community wall, so y'all can bring that to the front. We can react to those things as well and go from there. All right. For the most part, it's 11 on my end over here, man. I really appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. Y'all been holding it down, man. If we can get 29 more subs before we get up out of here, I really appreciate it. Like I said, the more people continue to support this channel, the more we'll be able to give back. Kevin Ellis, appreciate you pulling up, man. We'll get to that point where we're able to give back, based on, all of the support and the love we receive over here as well. So make sure that y'all stay tuned. Make sure you subbing up to the channel. Please, please, please share the content. And let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it rolling, Shout out to everybody that, came in here and rocked out with your boy. And I do be shouting out everybody in my chats. I've been doing that ever since I started. I've been missing a little bit of that. So we're going to do that before we get up out of here. So Glorious to P, Paul Parmley, All the Best 1010, Kevin Ellis, Phoenix Rising, Dale Frazier, Lori Montalvo, Not Worth It, Fritz Caddy, Wayne Smith. We've been having some conversation in here, man. A lot of people have been rocking out. Beautiful one, and I really appreciate you shooting me that Cash App as well. Appreciate that, man. I don't know if you want me to disclose the amount or whatever, but I really appreciate you supporting the channel and supporting me as well. Russell Red, who else we had up in here? Wayne Smith. We had a lot of people in here rocking out, man. Ian Brinkley. There's a lot of people in here chatting, man. It's a lot. I'm trying to go through everybody's name. Miss Collins. Kelly. Well, it's a lot of chats in here. Yo, I be wanting to go through and read everybody's chats. But it's been heavy in here. Just Sinus or Justice Estenius. Man, damn. We had a lot of people in here chatting tonight. Let me go up a little bit. I know there's another Ian in here too. I had a little mix up. Hennessy Girl. Yeah, man, it's been real up in here, man. I really appreciate y'all. We need 24 more subs, man, to get to 1,200. Last name right, Montalvo. Yeah, you got a lot of problems. Huh? Yeah, man, it's been real in here, man. Shout out to all of the mods. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in, man. This shit is glorious, man. I really appreciate everybody rocking out. We're gonna keep doing it too, man. Like I said, I got so much to dive into when it comes to the content, and I'm gonna make sure I start taking my notes, because there was something that Kwame Brown dropped about Charleston White as well with shit, Kwame Brown. I know these guys, they battling it out right now. I know he dropped this. Let's see what he had to say about this before I get up out of here. Cause Charleston White brings the noise, bro. He bringing a lot of people awareness to his content.
Oh, every man. You know, you was on the comments. What's up? Hey, listen, man, I ain't gonna be long. Shout out to my new cousin. You know, I got a new cousin that's cool. With,
I'm a victim too.
You can't treat him like any of the other niggas
Remember that,
around here,
Ian
'cause he
Brinkley.
ain't like any
I'm
of
playing
the other
victim when it
niggas
comes to my
around here.
black
You got
folks,
it?
man. I don't even give a damn. Straight up. I'm bullshitting, but I'm serious. Steve Just Stuff.
I feel like I'm part of the family now, you know.
Make sure y'all sub up the Kwame Brown Bus Life, man. Straight up. Kwame Brown Bus Life got me into this, doing this type of work over here, man. So shout out to that brother, man.
Man, I feel like I'm part of the
Him,
family.
Bro
I know
Sanchez
nicknames and all
TV.
kind of stuff now. So I feel like I'm part of the family. This nigga leaving Shawnee back home alone. Just disrespectful, man. Leaving her home alone while he out there with a bobblehead OnlyFans dot.
Yo. Hey, look.
Man, you up there lying, man. Hey, Charlie boy, why you lying like that, man? You try to cap like you just a player.
See, that's another thing, Charleston White. So now at this point, you know, you got a lot of people. You got a lot of people that's really, you know, they gonna be observing now. Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Hey, look, man, I interact with all types of people. Let's get that shit straight. If you keep it real with me, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm one of those guys you can build with constructively, and I'm one of those guys that you can destroy some shit with, bro. I can go left or I can go right. But it's just me, it's my opinion. I think we all should be like that when it come to about a lot of this shit we be talking about. Like, we don't have to fight each other about it, but I'm gonna keep it real too, you know, about how I feel, about what I'm opinionated on. Anything that I know to be something I can feel in my gut, intuitive, right? I'm gonna take that shit with a grain of salt, bro. So that's how I move when it comes to content and substance, you know.
Oh, every man. You know, you was on the straight and narrow when you was broke. Now you got some money and you stupid, boy. You was on the straight and narrow. You was talking against the people cheating on their girl. You was saying you ain't had no bumps on your lip. You was proud to say you were a single one-woman man. That you took your kids from a Mexican woman and brought around a black woman. You were proud to say that. She made the 20,000. She took care of your overall weighing ass and them dirty dreads. You was proud to say that.
But you
Now
know,
you running around here.
once you
leaving
get
her.
them eyes on you, I think he just shooting the shit to him. Once you get those eyes on you, man, like this Jeffrey Epstein shit too, like that's a heavy topic right now as well. Once you get them eyes on you, people start looking at you and they're able to decipher what's real and what's not. Cause that Epstein, I think, is just gonna be one of those things that continue to grow. It's gonna continue to just how do they say it? You know, it'll just continue to grow. Snowball. The Jeffrey Epstein thing will continue to snowball because they definitely just threw Bill Clinton under the bus and they kind of lifted Donald Trump up. You know, they said, hey, Donald Trump was riding on the plane, but he wasn't on the plane when no grape was involved. But Bill Clinton definitely, oh yeah, he was on that plane when there was some grape involved. I was like, what the hell? Like, damn, like for real? Like they just threw his ass all the way under the bus. And then it was more or less like a situation. They're like, well, he's sick. So they're like, hey, bro, it's your turn, basically, you know. Which is what it be looking like a lot of times when they come to these, you know, these political figures. Like when they get to that point of no return, they sick or something. And I'm gonna say that's alleged too, you know, because I don't know if Bill Clinton was on the plane. I don't know if he's sick, and I don't know if Donald Trump was involved. Once again, I'm just fucking reacting. All right, let me do my due diligence. You know, let me say what the hell I got to say. Other than that, man, we finna get up out of here, man. Shout out to y'all. Sandra, appreciate you pulling up as well. I don't know what the real laugh was about. Other than that, hug your loved ones. Tomorrow's never promised. You know, And then just like that, we up out of here, man. L Boogie Reacts. Until next time.